Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Aeolak. You can get the blueprint for the Aeolak from the 4th tier of Zariman bounty, so the highest level one, and it's a rare reward. As far as the other parts go, you get the blueprint for the stock and the receiver from Void Flood rotation C, and you get the blueprint for the barrel from Void Cascade rotation C. The Aeolak is a mastery rank 10 fully automatic primary rifle that does primarily puncture damage, but it still has a lot of impact and slash, and then there's a tiny bit of radiation as well. It also comes with pretty decent crit of 21% and above average 2.3 times crit multi and very high 33% status. The fire rate is also pretty slow on the primary fire because there's actually a secondary fire that's not listed in the stats, and it comes with 1 meter of innate punch through, which is always nice. Now the secondary fire charges up an explosive ball that does damage in a fairly sizable area. It consumes 10 ammo and it does pure blast. Now as far as the build goes, the one I like the most has to be this one right here, which just needs one forma if you're not gonna faff around with galvanized mods, and it's a sort of like a traditional style hybrid with point strike and argon scope for the crit chance, 5 cents for the crit damage, and then 3 dual stat mods which combine into corrosive and heat. Now you might be tempted to do some slash shenanigans here, and if you're gonna do that, I would recommend doing it via the Hunter Munitions route with 2 dual stat mods that will give you viral. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it though, because even though it can do a lot of damage, especially if you get a big crit with a secondary fire and you leave behind the slash proc, it's gonna be very unreliable. It does feel pretty okay with the primary fire because the unreliability of Hunter Munitions is sort of balanced out by the fact that it's a fully automatic weapon, so you're firing out quite a few projectiles, but I still prefer the first corrosive and heat setup because it's just more reliable. And it also makes the secondary fire feel a lot better and a lot more usable because you don't need to get lucky with the Hunter Munitions to actually do its full damage. And now that we have all of that out of the way, let's talk about the actual damage. It's okay, it will take you up to about level 100, but if you run into a beefy Eximus unit in anything above level 60 or 70, you're gonna have some issues. It does, however, scale pretty well with additional investment, so if you're gonna throw on a bunch of extra forma, you're gonna run a galvanized setup, you're gonna have a crit cat or something, maybe a frame buff, an arcane, it's gonna actually do loads of damage. One thing to bear in mind with it though is that the projectile speed is very low, so if you're firing at anything beyond medium range, you're really gonna have to lead the target, and it's very difficult to get headshots on anything that's farther than like 15 meters. So as far as my recommendation goes, I would recommend it to those of you that are willing to invest everything you can into it, okay? But if you're not willing to do that, this weapon is an easy skip in my eyes. To me, this is a weapon that you max out and try out if you randomly get the blueprint from a bounty and you manage to get all the parts from the other missions. It's a weapon that can do tons of damage in the perfect case scenario if you get lucky, but most of the time it's just okay, and it can't even do the mission where you get the weapon blueprint from. And that is pretty much it. So I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I will see you some other time. Bye bye.